A gracious evening to you all, dear viewers of My Media Prime TV. You're welcome to Prime News on My Media Prime TV, presented by me, Eileen Sama. We begin the news here in the city of Douala. Christmas Day has come and gone, but some inhabitants of Douala city say the celebration and merrymaking continues, while others are keeping it low-key. Ewane visited some persons in the city of Douala and compiled the following report.
It is December 26th, the day after Christmas, otherwise referred to as Boxing Day. It was a rather calm and less busy day in several streets and neighborhoods across the city of Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. Places are very calm. I noticed there were no major excitements today. Everything is normal and activities are going on like any normal day. Today was really very calm. Everyone surely slept like me. We are hoping that the new year will be with a difference because we no longer have that much energy in celebrations. We need change come 2023 to do something different and make the day memorable. According to some business operators and commercial bike riders in the city, economic and commercial activities are yet to gain steam after yesterday's Christmas celebrations.
Today is just some kind, nobody, people are still sleeping because there was the snack yesterday. There's nobody, it's empty.
So business is slow?
Yes, business is slow. We are still waiting for customers. When they wake up in the bed, they will come.
Activities after Christmas were kind of dead. People were out despite the calmness. Some business sites were opened. People went to work and carried on with their daily activities, but the ambience was lacking. It should be noted December 26 was declared a public holiday throughout the Cameroonian territory, following a presidential decree dated Friday, December 23, 2022. Even though some business structures were completely shut down earlier today, others were open at the service of the public. Today was a public holiday. That's why places were this calm. But people need to hustle. That's why some people came out today. I learned today was declared public holiday. But what do we eat tomorrow if we stay home? Places are open despite the fact that today is public holiday. No one is tired because there were no major celebrations. So everyone is back to work. That notwithstanding, many Douala city dwellers are positive on what tomorrow holds and await the start of the new year come Sunday, January 1, 2023.
Now, inhabitants of Kribi in the south region of Cameroon are decrying a Christmas spent unlike the previous years, void of neither decorations nor lightning, even in major junctions. Gong in the following report paints a picture of Kribi on Christmas Day.
This is a video of Kribi at 1 p.m. on Christmas Day. The streets of the beach town are empty. It doesn't look like a day of celebration. Major junctions are not decorated, even less illuminated, as is often the case during this period.
Nous sommes quand même surpris que aujourd'hui, le 25 décembre 2022, la ville de Kribi ne soit.
We are surprised that today, the 25th of December 2022, the town of Kribi has not been decorated, as it is the case in other towns. That by this time of the year, nothing has been done. The town is just as if it is a normal day. Meanwhile, it is a festive period in all parts of the world. It is unbelievable. Generally, the town is being decorated in November to allow the people to feel that things are different and that we are in the festive period.
Permettre aux populations de se mettre en joie, de savoir que les choses sont différentes et que maintenant on est dans une période de fête.
This year, unlike previous years, the Kribi City Council did not make the city beautiful. The roundabout of the post office seems sad, as well as other big places of the city, a situation which, on the social level, causes harm to the population and to the traders.
Même pour le commerce, c'est très important parce que quand les gens voient que la ville...
Even for commercial activities, it is very important because when people see that the town has been decorated, they will be willing to go out and buy things.
Là où on a pavoisé, on a mis les lumières. Et on fait des photos parce que ce sont des photos souvenirs qu'on garde parce qu'on a partagé.
Even for social life, people go out to visit these decorated places and take pictures as souvenirs. We have had a tough year. We would love that during this end of year, we are made to forget the hard times we passed through and be happy. But Kribi, which is said to be the most beautiful town in Cameroon, is in darkness and it is bad for the town's image.
On dit aujourd'hui la plus belle ville du Cameroun, mais Kribi est dans le noir et c'est extrêmement dommageable pour l'image que nous pouvons donner de la ville.
A tourist town without decorations during the end of year celebrations is creating several questions within the society. This is especially as locals believe that each year there is a budget allocated to make the city bright and beautiful during the end of year celebrations. A failure, therefore, of the municipality, which translates sadness right into households.
In a related story, Christmas Day celebration in Bamenda, like in Fundong, Boyo Division and other parts of the Northwest, went smoothly with a message of peace, love and sharing following 6 years of the armed conflict which crippled activities in that part of the country as well as left festivities low-key. Charles Kebwa reports.
Christmas celebration this time around in Bamenda, like other parts of the Northwest region, celebrated Christmas feast they believe symbolizes the birth of their Savior, Jesus Christ, with the message Jesus has brought, which is that of love and sharing. Champions International House of Prayer General Overseer, Prophet Walters N.N. urged believers through prayer by revelation, the people of the Northwest region at Christmas should embrace what is good and desert what is not good.
To destroy them, to track them by revelation, they are going to, people of the state of Bamenda are going to see what is good and what is not good. They are going to embrace that which is good and they are going to desert that which is not good. People in families are going to see what is good and what is not good. So that banner you are seeing there speaks great things over our nation and over the state of Bamenda.
In Fundong, Boyo Division of the Northwest, one of the hit crisis municipality, celebrations went hitch-free with Fundong Mayor Denise Awundang joined the people of his municipality celebrate Christmas with joy. Enjoying after 6 years of crisis, insist Fundong is gradually coming out of the long suffering caused by the Anglophone crisis. With the message Jesus has brought, which is that of love and sharing, the defense and security forces in the region were urged to continue to portray human values as they defend Cameroon's territory and integrity in the crisis-hit Northwest region.
Today is observed worldwide as Boxing Day, a holiday celebrated after Christmas Day, occurring on the second day of Christmastide. Although it originated as a holiday to give gifts to the poor, today's Boxing Day is primarily known as shopping holiday. Moving into the market earlier this day, Nolinga in this report paints a picture of the market situation in Douala. Take a listen.
One day after Christmas and the steam in the market is seemingly quelling down. This is the Bonamosade market, one of Douala's busiest markets with many shops and shades still closed. An indication many have resorted to resting today. Today is officially known as the Boxing Day, in other words, the second Christmas day, as many Christians would still go to church for a Thanksgiving service. However, going by the statutory of the country, today is a public holiday. Well, given that a few days to Christmas, this same market, like others, was bustling and buzzing with relatively impossibilities for free movements. Today, Mr. Rene, a trader who deals in the sale of Christmas gadgets, says the purchasing power of most consumers is extremely low, one day after Christmas. Well, for the past 2 to 3 years now, the purchasing power of most clients gets to the peak from the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of December. But after Christmas Day, it begins dwindling. However, we are waiting for customers to start buying again as we approach the 1st of January next year. But what happens to some of these Christmas gadgets that will not be sold? Mr. Rene comments again while posing a firm mindset on his response. Well, for now, all what we are doing is business. If items are bought, that's fine. If they are not sold out, that's still fine. We know every entrepreneur is a risk bearer. But then, we hope to make the most of this season as there are still a few more persons passing by. Meanwhile, at various amusement parks like the Douala Spa in Bonaberry, parents are still hanging out with their kids to ensure they get the best of treats. On the other hand, it seems Christmas gadget vendors here are more advantageous to sell throughout this period. One day after Christmas, the feel is still on as many await the 1st of January 2023, another big new year in anticipation. Nolinga reporting from My Media Prime TV in Douala.
Yeah, welcome back. It is that time of the year when people prepare to make New Year resolutions. But what happened to those that they made last year? Julian Dambi caught up with some individuals who shared with My Media Prime TV their thoughts about making resolutions. Her report.
The practice of making New Year resolutions has been around for decades. It involves a person pledging to work on themselves by changing an undesired behavior, accomplish a personal goal, amongst other things throughout the new year. With just days away to the end of 2022, some individuals recount how it has been keeping their resolutions made.
As far as my career is concerned, yes, I think I have been above 80% successful. I've been able to reach the goals that I set for myself. I've been able to do the things I thought I would do, even those I haven't done. At least I've started them, but it's not always 100% successful. But comparatively, I am above 70% successful generally for 2022.
Many people always complain about me. I have a hobby that you can call and I don't answer call. So actually, when we enter the 2022, that was one of my goals and I tried to achieve it.
While many are of the fact that New Year resolutions is important, some hold the opinion that it is not necessary, as you can never know what tomorrow holds, which can alter all your plans, and it is as well difficult to follow resolutions.
I think New Year resolutions generally are not important in the sense that people should have that mindset wherein they just set their objectives no matter the time of the year and they get going with them. It shouldn't be like a particular New Year resolution. Okay, it is December, you set your objectives, you want to get something done. Even if it's not done by December, January you continue. I've seen people keeping, they set New Year resolutions, and at the end of the year, the same people still talk of how they haven't kept to their resolutions, things have disturbed, distractions here and there. So I still come to the fact that it is not necessary for you to keep New Year resolutions, but just set your objectives and get them going.
Despite the challenges involved in keeping New Year resolutions, many say it is absolutely important to keep them and struggle to accomplish those resolutions.
Those who did not organize themselves for the 2022, they should try to do it this 2023, because I don't see it to be that easy. I see it to be more tougher than the 2022. So it's good we keep our new resolution and then fight to make sure we attend to them in order to make the 2023 look good and soft for us.
If you have goals at the beginning of the year and you're very excited about it, you can easily start. And when you start, you realize that it's exciting. So you keep pushing and you'll see yourself achieving more in the end of that year. So if you have never made goals at all, if you don't believe in making goals, this is 2023, we are still getting in. Try it, get excited as you always do, but have something that you want to achieve within the month of January. And as January is ending, try to look back and see what you have achieved. You'll be excited about how much you've achieved within a very short month, and you'll see that it's necessary for you to pull through with your goals till the end of the year. And of course, your productivity will greatly increase.
In all, New Year resolutions is an important tool for growth and success. Individuals are therefore encouraged to be intentional about their resolutions if they make them, as it will go a long way to shape their lives for the better.
Thank you for that report, Julian Tambi. Over 150 vulnerable persons selected from internally displaced persons living in Limbe have benefited from a one-day economic empowerment workshop on how to do petty trades in order to earn a living and fight food insecurity. The one-day event, organized by the Henrietta Concho Foundation, equally witnessed the donation of food items to the IDPs, widows and orphans to assist them celebrate the festivities with love and joy. Kuma Honore completes that story.
Over 150 vulnerable persons living in Limbe have benefited from food assistance offered by the Henrietta Concho Foundation. This was during an event that took place recently in Limbe under the auspices of the FACO Divisional Delegates of Social Affairs and that of Women Empowerment and the Family, respectively. Addressing beneficiaries, Madame Felicia Tamufo and her counterpart, Madame Limunga Luma, applauded the initiative by the Henrietta Concho Foundation for coming to the assistance of these sets of persons during such trying times. The divisional delegates beckoned on the Chief Executive Officer of the foundation not to end here, but to take the gesture a step further to empowering young girls who will in turn come up with similar initiatives to assist other vulnerable persons in the society. They advised other less privileged persons who did not benefit from the assistance to get themselves registered with the FACO Divisional Delegation of Social Affairs as well as Women Empowerment and the Family, so in the future they too can benefit from such acts of benevolence.
For this wonderful show of love during this period. You know, during this period, we learn to share as our Lord Jesus Christ is teaching. He come with good tidings. Maybe we share among us. So we thank this foundation very much for having that idea. For no say, because for society, people they know say different rates, different categories of persons today.
The beneficiaries, on their part, expressed gratitude to the CEO of the foundation for her food relief assistance.
I've been very happy for this thing where we don't get us. I don't even expect us to get something. And I don't come here, I don't get rice, gari, tomato, and some kind of sachet. I don't know, I don't know. What does it want? Oh yeah, Maggi, salt. At least my Christmas don't be fine. I'm not even know my fear, my people of already. But for this one now, I know they fine. May God bless the foundation. Bless the way they remember we offer them.
No, I'm happy with this day, but I was never expecting anything. But I just did it by the grace of God. What I've received, I'm so happy because we're able to at least send my mother something. Even if I myself I cannot eat it, I know there are people that will be happy about this. So I just want to thank you. So what have you received? I've received rice and granite oil and soap.
Donating the bags of rice, tomatoes, cartons of soaps, granite oils, packs of Maggis and Gary, the country's representative of the Henrietta Concho Foundation, Madame Akwi Solange, alongside the project coordinator, Madame Elizabeth Mbu, said the the idea to donate the food items to the widows, IDPs and other vulnerable persons in Limbe during this festive period stems from the fact that prices of such commodities skyrocket during such periods.
So it's basically how to give relief assistance and other help to the people of the population. And we are not limited to Limbe or to Southwest. We've also done projects in Littoral and other parts of the country.
They added that as a result, these less privileged persons find it very difficult providing for their families. Thus, the move seeks to lighten their burdens during this period of celebration. The Henrietta Concho Foundation is a non-profit making organization which aims to assist orphans, widows, IDPs, and other vulnerable persons in the society with special focus on children, young people, and women through financial and unorthodox support system to help relieve their burdens. It has as vision to break the vicious cycle of poverty and restore hope to the underprivileged.
Onto something else, His Royal Majesty Colonel Hans Nango, a retired Cameroonian senior military trainer who taught General Sani Abacha and also worked as military advisor for General Yakubu Gowon and Mobutu Sese Seko of Congo, has called for love, understanding and genuine dialogue for the much-needed peace to return to Cameroon. In an exclusive interview with My Media Prime TV, the ex-military official says it makes no sense for sons and daughters of the same nation to be fighting. Details in this report with Bo Elvis.
His Royal Majesty Dr. Colonel Hans Anago is a retired senior military official in Cameroon who played a big role in stopping the 1984 coup.
The war, Northwest, Southwest, is a different war because people have failed to understand the Northwest and the Southwest. Why are we fighting? There are two generals here. I recruited them to the army when I was commanding. Training called Comesi. When we meet, they say every time they meet in their various groups, they pray for me first. Because I recruited them, I trained them. And somebody say, look at how he looked at us when we were young people in the army. How can it come that we are fighting?
With his military experience, Dr. Colonel Hans Anago believes in love and reason.
Some of them don't understand why they are fighting. It's now they don't understand. At first they were just crazy and go for and go on and go on. But now they are coming to reason. Why are we fighting? When I was a diplomat for 10 years, we would stand up and speak English and French. The other countries were jealous. The other countries African countries were very proud. So an African country which comes to us with these two languages and the workers work in ease, in peace, in harmony, in love. How come they start fighting against themselves? They don't understand.
He has an advice on what needs to be done to end the conflict in Cameroon.
I talk to them that if a father is angry with the children, he will beat them, but he will not kill them, his children. He will not drive them away from his compound. And when they start crying, he will bring them back. Say, Asha, don't cry. It's because he offended me. I'm angry. So I said, Paul Biya can do the same thing. He has beaten his children. He can come now and say, I'm sorry, my children. You committed errors, that's why I beat you. But you're my children. I cannot give you another father. I'm your father.
But what does he think about President Biya's request for the separatist fighters to drop their arms?
If he said genuinely, they could have come back. Genuinely. You are talking to adults. Genuinely, with his heart.
On to health now. According to data from the World Health Organization, hospitalization for respiratory infections are surging around the world, with children under 10. The Center for Disease Control states also that hospitalization rates for newborns are 7 times higher now than they have been in 10 decades. Bokengo Worthy Kemia reports.
Respiratory diseases including influenza, acute cough, adenovirus, respiratory syncytial virus, coronavirus, parainfluenza and more are on the rise worldwide, particularly affecting children under the age of 10.
We are seeing a spike in respiratory diseases in children, particularly those under 10 years of age. They are seeing an increasing number of children hospitalized with acute respiratory infections caused by common respiratory viruses such as influenza, parainfluenza, respiratory syncytial virus commonly called RSV, adenoviruses, and coronaviruses including COVID-19. In addition, we are also seeing increasing cases of pharyngitis and skin infection caused by a bacteria called group A streptococcal infection.
According to the World Health Organization child health expert, the spike in respiratory infections may account for many different factors or reasons.
This may be because we are back to relative normalcy after COVID-19 and seeing viruses and bacteria spread again. Maybe some children did not have prior infections, so don't have any built-in immunity. Or maybe some of these viruses changed just a little bit and seem to be spreading faster. Maybe some children are getting multiple infections, so becoming more sicker than usual. So it could be any of these reasons as we try to figure out which particular one.
Nonetheless, these increases can be reduced and managed by means of proper hand hygiene, sanitation, and more.
First is practice good hygiene. Cover your mouth and nose with a mask or tissue. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Cough in your elbow or sneeze in your elbow. Throw away used tissues immediately and wash your hands. Wash your hands regularly with soap or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. The second thing is to keep up to date with child's vaccination, including for influenza and COVID-19. The third thing is to breastfeeding if a child is breastfeeding, because breast milk is protective against these viruses in younger infants.
Worth noting is the fact that respiratory infections in children account for an estimated 5 million deaths yearly, and according to data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, severe respiratory illnesses like enterovirus can lead to acute flaccid myelitis and paralysis over time, if not properly managed and diagnosed early, especially as respiratory diseases are not just limited to only cough and influenza or the flu.
In what's making news out of the country, the death toll from Saturday's tanker explosion in South Africa has risen from 10 to 15. Meanwhile, UNICEF has revealed that 20 million children in the Horn of Africa are facing the threat of hunger, thirst and disease as drought hit the region. Get details on these stories and more in the upcoming report. In touring the African continent this day, we start in South Africa, where the authorities on Sunday announced that the death toll from Saturday's tanker explosion near Johannesburg has risen from 10 to 15. The tanker contained 60,000 liters of LPG gas and got stuck under a bridge in the residential area of Boksburg. According to emergency services officials, the top of the truck scrapped a low-lying bridge, sparkling flames that caused the explosion. The tanker was reportedly delivering gas to the nearby OR Tambo Memorial Hospital, where some of the injured were treated. Away from the tragedy in South Africa, more than 20 million children are facing the threat of hunger, thirst, and disease, up from 10 million in July, as climate change, conflict, global inflation, and grain shortages devastate the region. This is according to UNICEF. Laike van der Wiel, UNICEF Deputy Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, said while collective and accelerated efforts have mitigated some of the worst of what was feared, children in the Horn of Africa still face the most severe drought in more than 2 generations. However, UNICEF estimates that nearly 2 million children in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia are currently in need of emergency treatment for severe acute malnutrition, the deadliest form of hunger. Also, over 2 million people are internally displaced due to the drought. It is worth highlighting here that water insecurity has more than doubled and nearly 24 million people now face severe water shortages. Meantime, approximately 2.7 million children are out of school due to the drought, and an estimated 4 million more children are at risk of dropping out. Over in the Democratic Republic of Congo, following another spate of violence east of the country, locals are hoping Pope Francis's visit in January 2023 will be able to bring some calm to the troubled region. The 86-year-old pontiff is due to arrive on the 31st of January after an earlier visit in July 2022 was postponed after he strained his knee and underwent therapy for his strained ligaments. Recall here that in recent months, the M23 rebel group, which is backed by neighboring Rwanda, has conquered vast areas in the east and advanced within a few dozen kilometers of Goma, the capital of North Kivu province. Note that, according to a preliminary United Nations investigation, at least 131 civilians were massacred in the villages of Kishishe and Bambo on November 29th and 30th by the March 23 rebel group. Now let's take you towards making news around the world. 34 people have lost their lives due to a relentless winter storm which brought danger and misery to millions of Americans on Christmas Day. As intense snow and frigid cold gripped parts of the eastern United States, leaving catastrophic results. With details on these and other top world stories today with you, Catherine Ekongwe.
34 weather-related deaths have been confirmed across 8 states, including 4 in Colorado who likely died of exposure, at least 12 in western New York, and 10 deaths in Ohio. According to a senior official, while large swathes of the country have begun shoveling out from the massive storm, and temperature in some locations were returning to seasonal normality, Buffalo remained in the grips of a major disaster. He described ferocious conditions with hours-long whiteouts and bodies discovered in vehicles and under snowbanks and emergency personnel going car to car, searching for more bodies, as the city's international airport remained closed until Tuesday. And now South Korean military officials say North Korea has flown 5 drones across the Yamutra border. According to the country's Joint Chief of Staff, the unmanned aerial vehicles violated South Korean airspace in the border area around Gyeonggi province as one drone flew all the way to the northern edge of the capital Seoul before returning across the border. Jets and attack helicopters were destroyed, but 100 rounds fired from helicopters failed to shoot them down. A South Korean military official said they had since lost track of all drones, but that they were no longer in flight. The incursion comes amid increased tensions on the Korean peninsula, with the North conducting a record number of missiles tests this year. Meanwhile, China is staging one of its biggest incursions so far in the seas and skies around Taiwan. According to data from the Island Defense Ministry, 71 Chinese Air Force planes, including fighters, jets, and drones had entered Taiwan's so-called Air Defense Identification Zone. In August, Beijing was enraged by a visit to the island by U.S. Speaker of the House of Representatives Nancy Pelosi, the most senior U.S. politician to visit Taiwan in 25 years. China responded to that visit by holding what was then its biggest ever military exercises in the seas around Taiwan and also blocked some trade with the island.
And that concludes today's edition of Prime News over My Media Prime TV. For presentation, I have been Sama Eileen. The news was produced by Ewane. Thank you very much for viewing. Coordination came in from Lasha Kingsley. Do stay tuned to more amazing programs coming up tonight on My Media Prime TV. Up next is Prime R with Kum Leonard and his team. Have a blessed night until tomorrow. Bye.